In this video, I'm going to talk about a biotech company that has partnerships with Harvard, Yale, and Mount Sinai. This company is also the only licensed seller of MDMA derivatives for medicinal purposes in Canada and the US. Despite this, the company still only has a market cap of $28 million. This company is called Pharma Biotech, ticker symbol MDMA or MDMXX in the USA. In this video, we'll cover their biggest partnerships, how Pharmala has become the leader in MDMA production, and how they can capitalize on the growing psychedelic industry. As you can see, the company is up an astounding 216% in the past year. I was buying this stock in October when the stock was trading at around 17 cents. So if you don't want to be late, make sure to check out my Patreon, linked in the description below, where you can find out when I buy and sell any stock. Now let's get into what Pharmala does. Pharmala works with established, best-in-class laboratories across Canada to develop novel processes for the supply of their patented MDMA and MDXX substances, which are MDMA variants. The research and development team is engaged in preclinical research on 2 of their novel chemical entities, with the goal of increasing the safety of MDMA and its analogs. Now, one of their products, the La-Neo MDMA, is already through phase 3 clinical trials and is the only one in North America. As you can see from this Global Newswire article on November 7th, 2024, Pharmala is the only company currently provisioning clinical-grade MDMA for patient treatments outside of clinical trials. This is because they are the only company that has completed phase 3 trials on an MDMA variant. Because Pharmala has that competitive advantage of being the first, they're catching the world's attention. For example, in the last month, Yale selected Pharmala to supply them with their patented MDMA for a clinical trial. Also in October, Pharmala agreed to supply Mount Sinai Hospital with their patented MDMA. Here's what the CEO had to say about the partnership. If you're unaware, Mount Sinai has hospitals all over America and Canada. Sinai houses some of the best researchers in the world, executes a significant amount of work for Veterans Administration, and has fantastic new facilities for MDMA-assisted therapy. Veterans therapy is a big use case for MDMA, and we'll get into that more later. On October 2nd, Pharmala also agreed to supply Harvard's medical school, McLean Hospital, with their patented MDMA. As you can see, that was just a few of their most notable partnerships. Pharmala doesn't only work with research teams, they also work with other publicly traded companies like Numinous. Now you may be thinking it may be too late to get on this stock, but that's what I was thinking too after I watched it rise 100%, only for it to rise another 100%. With the shift in policy in the USA and Trump appointing RFK as the top US health official, it's another great reason to consider investing in the psychedelic industry. Now, the reason why RFK specifically being appointed matters so much is because he is very pro-psychedelic medicine. This article was posted on November 23rd, 2024, and talks about RFK being pro-psychedelics and some recent comments he's made. In a recent tweet, RFK sent out a warning to the FDA about items that he wanted unbanned. Most of the items listed were about food, but Kennedy also listed psychedelic drugs. The article goes on to list other government officials that are also pro-psychedelic drugs. For example, former Texas Governor Rick Perry, who served as the U.S. Secretary of Energy under the last Trump administration, spoke at the annual Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies. This is one of the largest global conferences for psychedelics every year. He mentioned supporting a Texas bill that would increase research investigating psilocybin for veterans. Psilocybin is the drug in magic mushrooms, and has been shown to significantly improve depression symptoms for patients in clinical trials, and other studies which are being investigated for conditions like obsessive-compulsive disorder and PTSD. Now, Pharmala Biotech also has a joint venture in which they sell psilocybin in Australia. They have a 50-50 revenue split and are also the first company that is selling MDMA and psilocybin as therapy. Now, the last thing that excites me about this company is the potential for growth within the psychedelics industry. As you can see from the Pharmala website, the psychedelics market in the US is growing with a compound annual growth rate of 16% in the forecast period of 2020 to 2027, and is expected to reach $6.9 billion by 2027, from just $2.1 billion in 2019. From their investor presentation, here's a look at Pharmala's potential market. PTSD affects 5 to 10% of the population. 20 to 60% of those are resistant to typical treatment. That means there are 2 to 12 million potential treatment-resistant PTSD patients, combined within the US and Canada. That means there's 260 million to 1.5 billion potential available market based on the Special Access Program pricing. The Special Access Program regulates how novel drugs are administered. These charts below also show how the US and Canada could save billions by improving treatment and recovery. The psychedelic treatment that Pharmala can provide helps with traumatic brain injuries, strokes, post-concussion symptoms, and mental health. And helping solve these issues would save each country billions of dollars. As for what I'm doing, I already built a position around 17 and 18 cent range. I did take profits after the stock ran, but I'm looking to buy back in. Check out the Patreon below to know exactly when I buy and sell any stock. As always, do your own research before investing. If you have any questions, comment them down below and I'll be sure to answer. And if you learned anything new, be sure to subscribe and like the video. Thank you.